Welcome In the Dawg House with Tim and Scott, brought to you by the law offices of Gary Martin Hayes and Associates. My name's Tim Cicciarelli from My Country 99.3 WCON, joined by the legendary voice of the Georgia Bulldogs, Friends of Georgia Radio Hall of Famer, Scott Howard, and an old friend of ours from many years ago joined us on the radio and loves to talk college football, and he decided to sponsor this podcast. So here he is, Gary Martin Hayes.
Woo-hoo!
Yes, and we're grateful
today.
Morning, gentlemen.
What's happening?
Scott Howard, before we dive into Georgia football, man, you have been busy between football, basketball. We have Georgia Tech basketball, great game last Friday night. Is that right?
Yes.
And then football Saturday. We're going to talk about that in detail. And then another basketball game since then.
Yeah, Monday night against Florida A&M.
Wow. How did the Dogs do Monday night? Are we still winning?
Yes, we are. Yeah, they won by 30. What's today? Tuesday?
At the day of this recording, we're
recording this on Tuesday.
November, what is it, 18th?
18th.
Yeah. So last night they won 87-57, I think was the final. So, yeah, they're playing well.
Kind of differential we'll probably experience this Saturday between the hedges.
I don't think the other team will have 57, but one team might have 87.
Perhaps. Well, before we look forward, let's look back. How about them Dogs on Saturday? I mean, yes, horns down, baby. Before we get into the X's and O's and really celebrating our boys and our coach, let's talk about the environment, Scott. I mean, it was a star-studded event. Of course, last week we talked about Matthew McConaughey, all right. Needs to change it to go Dogs, go Dogs, go Dogs. Let me hear him say that. But he was wearing that jacket that we talked about last week, of course, his uniform.
Yes.
Did he make it on to the tailgate show? I listened as much as I could. I didn't hear him on there. Did you get that?
He did not.
On there?
He did not. He was all over social media, though. I know that. He was on the sidelines, and there were a lot of I don't know, to say famous people sounds kind of cheesy, but there were a lot of people who got sideline passes that never show up for football games.
I agree.
They knew there'd be a lot of eyeballs on this game, so I guess they're sports fans and they were there. So yeah, it was there was a lot of hobnobbing going on. Not where I was. We're so far removed from the field.
Yeah. You didn't run into any celebs, Scott, there in the booth up there? Didn't see anybody famous?
No, only the other people that came in to get some cookies and that work in our booth. So that was about it.
Press elevators at Sanford Stadium this week.
Slow, but do they smell good?
Smell?
Yeah, they don't have any urinal cakes in them. That's Starkville only.
Circling back to those celebs, there were more than two country stars there. There was Megan Maroney. She's a Georgia grad, right? So she was there. But two in particular that are going to be performing there, each were there. We had Luke Bryan and Jason Aldean. You get a chance to lay some eyeballs on those guys. They're big fans. They do go to games.
Yeah, they're big. Fans. They're big Bulldog guys.
I'm sure they were promoting the heck out of that concert coming on April 25th when they were there.
Yeah, well, they want to fill that place up in a few months, and I'm pretty sure it will be. But yeah, that's two massive artists in the country genre.
Yeah, they played there before too. I think it was in 2014.
They did. Yeah, they're the only. Jason is he was the headliner that night, and he's the only one that's ever played in Sanford Stadium, which he likes to let everybody know that, and deservedly so, because Georgia had been reluctant for a long time to use that facility as a concert events place, and now I think it's going to be somewhat on a regular basis.
Wow.
The Between the Hedges concert series.
I love every bit of it. I can't wait.
That's a good way to fund the NIL program there, right?
There you go. Anything to create a new revenue stream, man. That's right. That's what college football is all about nowadays.
Yeah, the starting tackle brought to you by Jason Aldean. I love
it. You may have something there.
I think I do.
We'll see patches on the uniforms pretty soon, and I mean, we're already seeing advertisements on the field, and
Like Major
on
League
and on and
Baseball
on.
now, it's gonna move in that direction.
Yeah, wherever they can create money. I mean, that's where we're headed.
I can't wait for that show. That's going to be great. Star-studded event, and boy, they took in an amazing game, Scott. I mean, where do we even start? How about we start with our quarterback?
Yeah, he's pretty good, isn't he?
He's all right. I think he might do okay. Yeah, the thing about Gunnar, and we'll go into his numbers in a minute, but I'm kind of curious as to why there's not more buzz around him for the Heisman. Am I just too big of a fan to even bring that up? But I watch College Game Day, and they always do the Heisman watch, and he's like at the bottom of the list usually, and I'm really surprised by that. Do you think maybe now with that game on Saturday, with all the focus on that game, the national attention on that game, and that maybe he's thought about for that award?
Yeah, probably, maybe a little bit more. I mean, there seems to be a little more of a push, at least this week, to get his name there on the list. But Georgia tries to, I don't want to say they back away from it, but they don't overly promote it either because they're not really concerned about stuff like that.
I kind of like that too, though. I mean,
and there are a lot of people that are. There are a lot of people that's their sole focus. But I don't think those people are at Georgia right now. If you get mentioned, if you get brought in, like Stetson a few years ago. I mean, he was invited to New York. He was in the top 4, and he got to go through that experience. And the same thing could happen to Gunnar. He's playing super well. And a game like Texas is such a huge focus, even though they now have 3 losses, but still, when you just say the 2 names, Georgia Bulldogs, Texas Longhorns,
legendary programs, of course.
Yeah, that's a massive pairing, not only in the Southeastern Conference, but in the whole country.
No question.
So, and when you're the quarterback of one of those teams, I mean, you're going to get a lot of attention as Arch Manning has, and since he came out of high school, I mean, he was heavily recruited. And
I'm sorry, but wasn't that just great? I mean, he was heavily recruited. He was at Georgia a few times, and we were all kind of keeping our fingers crossed that he would come our way. And it was awesome to see him just get dominated on Saturday. Loved every second of it.
It's worked out pretty good for these guys.
It sure has. So. It really has.
And they're
disappointed Uncle Peyton up in the stands. But it was a dominating performance. I mean, it was pretty close, I guess, up to the 4th quarter. But I mean, that whole game was just a wonderful environment. I didn't get a chance to go to this game, and regretfully so, but enjoyed it from my television and my radio because I was able to sync it up, which I love to do, so I can listen to you call the game. And you were just, Scott, back to you up there in the booth. Wonderful job calling the action and your enthusiasm, especially on that play that could have gone horribly wrong, but it didn't. It went well. And Kirby said on that play that I'm about to bring up, what I'm probably referencing, that if it didn't work, we'd all think he would be an idiot. But it did work.
It did work.
Onside kick, and he said they practiced that thing over and over and over and over, and then I thought his reasoning for going for that play at that point was it made sense to me. Now, why don't you fill us in on all the details, because you're certainly closer to it than any of us, casual fans are. But the onside kick that took everybody by surprise. I'm sure even including you.
Yeah. Yes. They don't let me in on the game plan. So, I'm just riding along with everybody else that's watching. But yeah, it was a shocker. Georgia just scored the touchdown to go up. I think it was 11. It's 21-10 at that point. I'm trying to remember what the score was. And then they come out with that and they deliver it, execute it perfectly. Peyton Woodring, got the right bounces out of the ball. And Cash Money Jones, as we like to call him, Cash recovered it on the bounce in full stride, and then it's Georgia's ball at that point.
I don't know if you saw the TV where they had the camera on Texas's special teams coordinator. After that happened, he was dumbfounded. He was not expecting it.
Nobody
I did
was.
watch some of the TV copy this past weekend, and they were showing that guy a couple of times, and he was blowing his stack.
He was pretty upset many, many times. It was fun to watch.
And they have, they have one of the best kick returners in the country, and Ryan Niblett, and that kind of affected Georgia's punting game. You know, Thorson's usually just, kicks the ball out of the stadium. He places it perfectly, hangs it up high. There's great coverage, but they were, it appeared that we were trying to keep it away from Niblett, didn't want him to have a return, and it was, and we didn't have a great punting night, I think, because of that. Just trying to kick it away from him, and the fear of him returning it just kind of affected the way that we kicked the ball the other night. But
well, that's why Kirby called the play. He said, right? He said, I didn't want to take a chance.
I don't want to kick it to that guy again. Now on kickoffs,
ultimate respect.
Woodring's doing a great job of kicking it through the end zone, touchbacks, and so it negates the return. But he did return one. I think it was called back on a penalty about 5 yards deep in the end zone. You could see him getting ready because he was backing up in the end zone. Most of those guys now stand right on the goal line. They stand on the goal line. If the ball goes over their head, even a foot, they'll just let it go. They'll take the ball on the 25 on the touchback. But you could see Niblett backing up into the end zone. So he was like halfway deep in the end zone. It's like, he's going to run this out. If that ball lands at that spot, he's going to run it out. And sure enough, he did. And he had a 50-yard return on that play. But like I said, it was negated on a penalty on them. They had a block in the back or a hold or something. And so they brought it back. And it's like, I think that may have been all we needed on our sideline to say, we're not kicking it in that guy's direction anymore the rest of the night.
Well, that was a great play. It worked out. It was exciting.
Boy, it was. Who knew an onside kick could create that kind of energy?
Usually it's out of desperation when that play is called, right? That's how I've always viewed it.
Yeah, usually you're trying to catch up.
Yeah.
And that was the ultimate surprise there, that it wasn't expected. And Georgia had really done their homework on Texas, kick team. And they found something, and they were able to use it. So it was extremely effective.
And this was the first onside kick that Georgia's recovered since 2013.
Again, we were all surprised. Right?
Yeah.
What was that?
Been a while, yeah. How many have we tried since 2013? That probably not too many. That may be one of the first.
And it was done, like you said, it was executed just perfectly. And it was just one of those, like, okay, we're going to win this ball game.
And then they went down and scored again. So, you're right. That in Texas, you could just feel it in the stadium. It was like the air just went out of the balloon.
That burnt orange section got really sad. Yeah, it was. I love when they show the shots of the fans, like, shocked and disappointed, especially when it's Texas. It just makes me smile.
And for those not watching online, Scott made that noise with his mouth.
I have the talent, though. The thing about Texas is they took a perfectly hideous color in orange and then they burned it.
Exactly.
So, they deserve what they get.
Like we said last week, there aren't any teams out there that we enjoy that's orange or like or support.
Agreed.
So,
yes. Gary's first one on that boat. Yes, agreed.
As the Crimson fan over here, and boy, sorry to step aside, but man, sorry, not sorry about the Crimson Tide, Gary. It was
ugly. We pooped the bed, 3 turnovers. Missed field goal.
What a day of just up and down. I was excited. I thought A&M was going to lose.
I did too.
So I went to Costco. I'm like, oh, this game's over. I just took off and went to Costco, and then my son calls and he was laughing about the implosion of the Gamecocks. Even though he's a dog fan, he wanted A&M to lose, but I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, no, they won. They came back. I said, you got to be kidding me. And that's when I came back and turned my TV back on. What a complete turnaround and shock that was to everybody, especially those in South Carolina.
Yeah, that was the largest deficit that any team in the SEC has ever come. Just crazy. Ever.
Wow. Well, they're locked in. Who do they play this Saturday? Getting ready for the SEC championship here.
Who's that?
A&M?
A&M. Who are they playing? 'Cause I know
A&M has the mighty Bulldogs of Samford University.
Wow.
Okay.
I hope that's at home instead of in Birmingham. They'll be in trouble.
It is in College Station.
All right, good.
Yes, if Texas is playing in Samford's home field, then something's happening.
Well, it's fun to look back to last week. What a great game that was. A great day in Athens. Beautiful weather. I mean, they couldn't have a better day for Georgia Bulldogs. It was just perfect from beginning to end. A wonderful day as we get ready for who we playing? The Charlotte 49ers? Is that
Charlotte?
Look at you laughing.
I know. Well, I am. Isn't everybody? Aren't you?
Am I laughing? Is that what you're asking?
No, I mean, not laughing. Here's what I think of when I see a game like this towards the end of the season. All I could think of is just nobody get hurt, please.
Yeah, I mean, we have enough injuries as it is. Yeah, you don't want more in this game. You just want to get through it. You want to play well so you don't lose any of that momentum and move on to the next one.
Do you feel that Kirby's going to coach a little bit differently? And then in terms of, I say differently, coach, no, he's just going to put them all out there?
No, I don't. He won't be coaching scared, or he won't. No, it'll be.
I mean, in terms of who he's going to play and keep on the field. Are we going to go down the depth chart a little bit and let these other guys get some more playing time? Keep our first stringers on, safe.
If the game dictates that, yeah.
Okay, but from the beginning, no, we're just going out full bore like we're playing.
No, I mean, you've got an opponent coming into your place that wants to beat you. So the idea is to beat them into submission. And once that's the case, then we'll see the personnel probably change a little bit. But that's dictated by how the game goes and who's in control and time on the clock and all of that stuff. I don't think it'll be any different from a Georgia perspective. And it's senior day.
Yeah.
So that that's always there's always the discussion before the game. The players come out with their families and they get a moment there, and some guys cry and get off to a slow start, and you got to overcome getting all jazzed up in the locker room and stuff, and balancing that with seeing your family. Maybe you haven't seen them in a while. I would think most people, it's not like it's a what was that old show they used to do, the old game show? This Is Your Life. Where you're sitting on the You're sitting on the stage and they bring somebody out you haven't seen in 50 years. Hey, I remember that guy. And they come out and they talk about your life. I don't think it's a "this is your life" moment for these guys. But
it's still emotional, nonetheless.
Still
I mean, they're wrapping up their time between the hedges and playing under Kirby and being a Bulldog. And so I can absolutely understand that emotion to walk away from something like that.
Yeah, and the family members have been along for the ride, from the inception of this whole thing. From their days in high school when they were being recruited.
Days in Pee Wee football, probably.
Until this moment. And for some guys, this will be their last. It won't be their last because Georgia has more football to play, but it conceivably could be the last one in Sanford Stadium. Even that's not a certainty because of the playoffs now. You could still get a home playoff game. But so anyway, why are we talking about this then? It's not the final. It's not finality.
No, but it is senior day, and that's probably
I brought it up.
Yeah.
And then it's like it's not the last of anything with any kind of certainty. So they can keep playing.
Which makes this the ultimate trap game. Because Charlotte has had this circle since the beginning of the year.
They have, yeah.
And y'all are overlooking some additions that they had from the transfer portal. I mean, they got Mary from William and Mary, 2 linebackers from Agnes Scott, and Sister Mary Margaret from Catholic University School of Blind. So this is a good team. They're 1-9, lost their last 7 games.
That's correct.
When you asked if I was laughing, Scott.
Yeah.
And a 44.5-point favorite. UGA is at home.
I mean, everybody knows that this is a payday game for Charlotte, and it's
of course, yeah. And you know what? It might be an affordable day at Sanford Stadium for people as well, too, to get out there. I mean, the tickets are a lot less than they are for some of the big games, and it's an opportunity for people to be able to afford to bring their family to. Again, I'm being serious. This is a good game to go to because the environment is incredible. No matter who you play.
It's still Georgia football, and it's hopefully the weather's going to be nice. It's a nice 12:45 game, and so you'll hopefully be in the sunshine, and it'll be a fun day at the old ballpark.
You said it's a payoff game for Charlotte. Do you know how much Charlotte is getting for
You know, I don't know what the figure is. I'm sure you could look that up, and it's readily available.
So you want me to do it? Okay.
Yeah, because I have hands free right now.
I'm going to look that up.
Well, Gary, I was going to ask you to, if you wouldn't mind, as we enter this payoff game for Charlotte, is what are we looking for in the terms of injuries? We alluded to it a few moments ago that we've got enough people injured. We don't need anybody getting hurt as we prepare for Georgia Tech and a possible SEC championship and the playoffs, of course. But who's sitting on the sidelines? I know the official release is not out at the time of this recording, but what you got for us today? And before you do that, sorry, I do want folks to know that you're the perfect person to be providing us with the injury report because you are a personal injury attorney. I've been serving this community for close to 40 years. Gary, tell everybody how you can help Georgia families in the event that they get injured during an accident.
Yeah, God forbid anybody is in an injury. It is not a smart thing to try and take on the insurance company and their lawyers by yourself. This is all I've done, as you said, for, 36 years. I wrote the book on it in Georgia. I teach other attorneys how we do what we do. So be happy to help anybody. God forbid, as I said, if you're involved in something like this.
We will have links to Gary's website in the episode notes as well. 1-800-WIN-WIN-1 is his number. So who's injured this week?
Yeah, and since this is not an SEC matchup, there's not going to be an injury report released this week, but did see a little press conference with Kirby saying Georgia's leading tackler, junior linebacker C.J. Allen, he left Saturday's game in the second quarter with that knee injury. He had an MRI, but Kirby said he will be week to week, but his replacements played well. Raylan Wilson and Chris Cole filled in nicely against Charlotte, and we got to get C.J. Allen back for the Georgia Tech game because Haynes King is a force to deal with on offense. And running back Chauncey Bowens left the game in the fourth quarter, but Kirby said he is day-to-day. Charlotte's injuries. Quarterback cut her leg shaving, is day-to-day. Allison Chains pulled a groin doing hot yoga, so she's out for a couple of weeks. But other than that, they're going to be at full strength.
Man,
Scott, remember you asked why I'm laughing? That's why. So just
yes, well, that was good stuff. That may be used again on Saturday.
Scott's going to steal that from you.
And I found out Georgia is going to be paying $1.9 million to host the 49ers.
That's a big dollar figure.
That is.
I wouldn't have. I didn't know it was that much.
What's the TV coverage on Saturday? Who's covering that game? Is that going to be?
It's going to be on the Hallmark channel at 12:45.
Hallmark channel, give it a go. You know what? Who cares about TV? Just listen to Scott. And the reason I ask that is because, I would assume some of that money would be as a result of that. But the Hallmark channel, or just listen to Scott on the Georgia Bulldog audio network. Did I say that correctly, Scott?
The audio network, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any video on our audio, which is
that's okay.
Which is a good thing. A lot of radio folks do that. They put a camera in the booth, and I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that.
No. There's been a lot of talk about putting cameras in the radio station. At several radio stations where I've worked, people want to do that. And from those years ago when we did the morning show, we don't need people peeking behind the curtain, see how we do it, what we're dressed like. No, it's radio for a reason.
Go back to what you did a few weeks ago. I don't want to show people how the sausage is made.
That's right. Yeah, for those that missed that, I spent my father-in-law's birthday making sausage with the family, and it was an experience, and it was great.
And they don't want to see you eating sausage.
Not
eating it, that's a different story. He hasn't eaten
now that I know
any
that
yet.
it's made, I'm not eating it anymore. You're telling me.
Plenty of making, just not much eating.
That's correct. All right. Well, this has been a wonderful few days of celebration over a big win, top 10 win. Georgia, at the time of this recording, coaches poll, we're number 4. Is that right? Where are we sitting this week? 4?
Yeah, I think we went up a notch since Alabama lost, so they drop a little bit. And so who is it? It's Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, and then Georgia. some pecking order along those lines. But yeah, I think the Bulldogs are 4th this week, and then since this is Tuesday, the new CFP rankings come out later tonight.
Yeah, at the time of this recording, right?
Now, when this drops, they'll already have been released, and I would expect similar type numbers. But again, they're just talking points.
Yeah.
And
It is
kind
fun
of
to talk about, and they got a little bit of a pecking
they're
order.
just
and a little
talking
bit
points
bragging
right
rights.
now until you actually get to the finality of it. When they make the 12-team selection, it really doesn't.
Well, this has been fun. Like I said, looking back, we'll have a fun time on Saturday between the hedges. Nobody get hurt. And then next week, we get to talk about Georgia Tech. And there's always a lot to talk about with Georgia Tech. So,
yeah, Friday game, the Black Friday in Atlanta.
Black Friday in Atlanta and Tech. Last year, what did we have? 8 overtimes. I was at that game freezing my tail off at Sanford Stadium. 8 overtimes last year, and they're a force to be reckoned with this year. I mean, and so this is going to be an incredible game. So nobody get hurt on Saturday. Let's be ready to go because we got to beat Tech no matter what anybody's ranked. That's just one of those you got to win.
Hey, guys, I have ESPN on. What is Kirby doing in Baton Rouge right now? They said Lane Kiffin was over there. Be interesting if he goes.
They're shopping. Florida's pushing hard. LSU's pushing hard. Supposedly, I read one report that said Ole Miss is kind of giving him an ultimatum. He's like, we want you to make a decision by this time. So we can all move
for that.
This.
Sure.
What's that like to be courted like that? To have this large group over here wanting you, and this large group over here wanting you, and the place where you are wants you. It's just like, man, you just sit back and bask in the glow
and let their agent do their magic.
That's it. Yeah, that's the big time right there. You just let the agent do all the work.
That's right, and you just collect.
Tim called that his typical Tuesday.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's right. Come on.
No. All right, gentlemen. Thank you again for joining us. Always fun to talk Georgia football with you. Great to reconnect with you on a weekly basis. Have a great weekend. Go Dogs. And we'll be back next week to talk about Georgia Tech. That's my official handoff to one of the two of you.
I was saying, but we play Charlotte. We're not going to talk about Charlotte next week?
I mean, okay. We'll see what happens on Saturday.
See if they can beat the point spread of 44 points.
Okay, that's what we'll be looking for.
And the basketball team is in Charleston this weekend for 2 games.
So how are you doing that?
Pardon me?
How are you doing that?
I am not calling the basketball games.
Okay, I didn't know if you were. I don't know if it was on Sunday and you're like done on Saturday. Got to fly up there for Sunday. No,
I'm not overly opposed to that, but we're not doing that. So
okay, you need some rest, man.
We'll have another radio crew working the game on Friday. They play Xavier on Friday, and then on Sunday it's either Clemson or West Virginia will be the opposition on the Sunday game. And then I think they get a little bit of a break before the next one. I don't have the schedule in front of me. You think I'd have this memorized, but I don't.
This is a football podcast, but I don't mind talking. No, but I'm serious. I don't mind talking basketball. What an exciting team Georgia has this year, and what's going on? It seems like a completely different chemistry, or I don't know. I don't really follow basketball too closely, but I think I'm going to jump on the bandwagon this year because it looks like a lot of fun.
If you like, if you like the dunk highlights and that sort of thing, Jake Wilkins is must see video. Dominique's son, he's that dude.
Yeah, that one he dunked last week has been all over social, and I must have watched it 100 times. It was incredible, and I think what was more fun than the dunk was everybody's reaction to the dunk.
He had another one last night, so he's like every game now he's having a highlight dunk.
The windmill? He does the windmill every time like his daddy? Like is that how it works?
He didn't do the windmill last night. He just did the tomahawk. He, brings it way back. And, I mean, he's so high above the rim. Yeah. You can kind of look down through the cylinder.
How tall is he? How
big is that? 6'9".
6'9".
He's not 6'7". He's 6'9".
I got you. I know. I've got young stepchildren. I understand the 6'7". I had to send a text to Peyton, my 15-year-old stepdaughter. Go, okay, what's the deal with the 6-7 thing? And so apparently it's a song. Is that right?
I don't know. I have no idea what it means.
I have no clue. I need to look that up. Hey,
I
Siri. Yeah.
I just know usually when you say it, some people laugh and some people smirk. So it's just like, oh man, they roll their eyes.
Yeah.
It's like, enough with that.
Yeah, I'm all over.
But usually if you can drop it in somewhere, you'll get a snicker somewhere in your audience.
All right. Well, maybe we got some Snickers that we didn't hear on this side, so we'll see how that
Unless it's just a bunch of old farts watching and listening to this, then
pretty much.
they're just like, shut up.
All right. On that note, 6-7, gentlemen, have a great week and go Dogs.
Oh, is that my cue?
That's your cue. I'm going to hand it off to you.
Let me see. What am I supposed to do?
So look at your contract. What you have to say here at the end of every episode.
Oh, do I have to say, Timmy? And then I have to say, so long, everybody.
That is a must.
All right. That's it.
Go Dogs.
Bye, guys.